Okay. All right, good evening. I would like to call to order the Tuesday, October 19th Board of Selectmen meeting. Can we all please stand to the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Under my announcements this evening, I would like to actually ask that we all take a moment of silence for the passing of Lou Ticino from GBI. All right.
You beat me to it. The wake is Thursday and
Funeral services are on Friday.
Yeah, in Milford.
All right. Passing that, is there anybody here for anything that's not currently posted on our agenda? And seeing as none, we'll go right into the first item, which is to meet with our esteemed town clerk and town moderator regarding the November 8th town meeting.
They're both esteemed, right?
They are both esteemed.
Why is she esteemed?
I didn't, because you
Town moderator.
haven't done your skiing trip yet.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
you'll be esteemed after you've done water.
November 27th. We're raising money for brain cancer research over on Webster Lake. Yeah, water's already down to 55.
You lucky guy.
Yeah,
Do you go over the jump there, or?
my son does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All the more reason to stay up on the skis when it's that cold.
yeah. You don't want to fall.
Incentive, right?
Yeah, you have to get in the water twice. You gotta, But anyway.
Chief Manning may be able to get the dive team over there to help you guys if you don't.
They definitely have warmer equipment than I do. So everything looks reasonably straightforward. This is the part apparently where my wife's like, "You need reading glasses." I'm like, "No, I don't. No, I don't."
You just need longer arms.
That's right. Yeah, this is fine. It's just a little fuzzy. So just a couple quick questions. The personnel bylaw amendment, am I reading that correctly, that basically part-time employees will accrue on a prorated basis for the amount of time that they're employed? The fire station needs a new roof already?
What's over 20 years old, yeah.
It can't be.
It
It is
Can't be.
missing shingles.
Nope.
is? Does that mean that
If
we've
you find
aged?
them.
Is that what that is, Keith?
What's that?
Does that mean that we're having to admit that we've aged a little bit?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah. I remember when that fire station was built. It wasn't that long ago. Nothing wrong with that roof. Seriously, I sound like my dad when I did that, because that thing was built just like 5 years ago. Yeah, except it was like 25 years ago, Dad. Okay, so Article 11, are we going to, can someone describe where Article 11 and Article 12 is? The pictures are not overly clear, and I'm hoping that we'll have clearer pictures at town meeting for the slides.
We will have better pictures for the slides.
I do have larger ones as well, I will send you.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, because those pictures here are awful.
Yeah, even the one in the original is like, yeah, it's over there somewhere. So I don't know if anyone could be specific on where these two properties are.
Witten Heights. This is the FinCom flyer going out to residents. They're
Okay.
a little bigger.
Yeah.
Obviously, you
No,
can
I'm at a
make them-
loss, because the further away it gets, the worse it gets.
I can make them a little larger, but I'll also have larger ones for you if you want to do
Yeah.
slides.
Well, I guess, but I'm even looking at the larger ones, like there's just not a lot of landmark for me to go off of to say, yeah, it's, so I'm guessing Article 12 is right over by the dam?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody keeps hitting skunks over there. It's crazy.
They like it there.
And then, but Article 11, like I said, I'm kind of lost on where that is.
I'm trying to,
Would it help to do a bigger map with an insect or something? that
I think he's
shows-
just looking for a landmark to identify it better.
Was this the land swap?
Yes. Yep.
This is residential little area
Yeah.
that probably impacts 2 lots.
Which is up in
I
northeast.
forget where it was.
Is that
On
up
Northeast
in
Main, right
Maine?
before the golf course on the right-hand side.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Northeast Maine, by the
Douglas
golf
Hill
course.
Way.
Okay, okay. So the alternative entrance exit or
Yeah,
emergency
right
exit.
over the dam.
Okay, okay.
The
Yeah, if there's any way that we can kind of put some landmarks in, just to kind of clean up the maps a bit, so that, we can say, yeah, it's right here.
Yeah.
I think that would be helpful.
Okay.
What's a brush truck? I think I know what a brush truck is.
It's a mobile washing device? No.
Well, so in my business, it kind of is.
It's essentially an off-road truck designed to fight forest fires.
Okay. I thought we had one of those. They were like, we just bought one, like,
Yeah, we got that just before the fire station. That was like a 1973, I think it was.
I think it's even older than that, isn't it?
So the current unit we have is a homemade, it was a unit that was built by the fire department staff in the late 90s and slid into the back of a 2007 pickup truck. So that's what we're currently utilizing. It doesn't quite meet our needs, but that's what we have to work with.
I thought that you guys had one even older than that.
We do, the one that
Doesn't
got on the grant is
read
replacing
so
a
well to me,
1973
conveying the
AMC
land
tanker,
and would
which
get-
Yeah, I told you it was a 73. You didn't want to listen
Tanker,
now.
Westover Air Force Base.
Quite,
That's the one.
probably don't want to,
That's awesome.
The truck's a year older than I am.
We can't get a couple more years out of that? It seems,
In about the same kind of shape.
yeah. That's
Hey.
really, that's really about all I've got for questions.
Are we gonna do like the usual format where you can lump some together and,
guess,
I don't see anything I can lump in here together.
Okay.
That said,
Okay, that's
I'm
good.
still liking the taking motions from the floor.
for unanimous consent, or?
Yeah, well, that obviously, if it goes that way, but, take the motion from the floor, second from the floor, ask for unanimous consent. If there's not unanimous consent, then we'll bring someone up to do, proponent speech and go through all that, but otherwise, I said, limit the movement in the room, and, that's about it. I'm looking at passing the mic again. I'm gonna try and see if I can even get my son to come in and do that. Just wipe down the mic before it goes to each person. That's really about it.
I'm kind of gonna miss the outdoor ones. I like those.
I will be honest, I was missing the outdoor ones until just the other day when it was like super breezy and chilly. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe being inside again, it'll be nice again. But I actually, I did not mind the outdoor ones as much as some people.
we really lucked out on the weather and everything. Good bit
Yeah,
on us, too.
yeah. It was kind of like Oktoberfest, though. It's like we had 2 meetings with really good weather. We had Oktoberfest with really good weather. We're now pushing our luck. So, like, I think that's it for now. Any questions for me?
No?
Questions for Chris, the esteemed town clerk?
Chris is gonna get up and make a couple of speeches at town meeting this year.
Right.
I think so.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. One of these days, I'm gonna not be feeling well, and she's gonna have to run town meeting per our bylaws.
I wouldn't envy you if you did that to her.
No. You think you'll ever get a dog license in this town again? You're wrong.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so approve and sign town meeting warrant and possible votes.
I move that we approve the warrant as presented this evening.
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing as none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All right. Third is the health insurance policy, second reading and possible votes. Has anything changed since the first reading?
So we don't need to read it.
I think we're only required to do 2, right? Or is it 3 readings? All right. So there's nothing to vote on as of yet. Moving right along to item number 4, the Public Safety Complex Feasibility Committee follow-up and possible votes. So, and I see that we have both chiefs, 3 chiefs, the deputy chief, and Adam. There's a lot of chiefs in this room. You guys want to come up or hang where you're at? It's up to you.
Come on up.
Come on down.
Oh, interesting that you would sit next to Mr. Cortez.
Shut up.
We're talking about the excellent.
Come on, Adam, you can't get out of that easy.
On a recent call.
I'd heard that they'd recently rescued a cat,
Meow.
which is fantastic.
You ever done that? Save a cat?
We have.
Oh, several times.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like it up there. They just grab your chest.
Yeah.
What made someone go up there?
Something scares them, and it looks like a safe spot, would be my
Yeah.
guess.
Maybe.
This flight kicks in and
I
they...
guess.
Don't stop, Tim, keep going.
No,
I'm enjoying this.
Don't
How
know
do you-
the easy part, it's gravity coming down, that's the problem, I guess.
So is it like somebody's got to grab the short straw to be the one to go up and get the cat?
And then little kids watching you, and you're trying not to drop the cat.
Right.
Up the top of the ladder.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
A clawing you as you're getting all the way down.
So is that why they call the fire department, not the police department? To
Yeah.
get the cat down?
It's not going to get through the turnout gear, right?
There's something called the dead cat bounce, isn't it?
Yeah.
What that's associated with.
They do. All right. So the last time we all get together, we kind of talked about putting together a feasibility committee to try and get a public safety complex that'll accommodate the needs of, outdated fire department, a growing police department, and I don't even know what to refer to the highway barn as other than sad.
I don't either.
I think it's on the historical.
It is?
Careful, we won't be able to tear it down.
Don't say that. Yeah, it's not on, there's
No,
no
no.
circa markings
It
on
was
it
a
at all.
joke, it was a joke.
All right. So, at least one of my thoughts on it in trying to get this put together is in my opinion, it would make sense to have a couple of delegates from each one of the departments to sit on this, as well as our town planner and a member from the Board of Selectmen. And I think what I kind of wanted to do is get together and see what your consensus was on who do you guys opt to put for your delegates onto this committee, and then have this board vote to actually make it an official committee and kind of task you with some of the things that need to go forward, be it, fact-finding, identifying parcels of land, identifying wants, needs, all those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think the representatives would be logical, perfect choice. I wonder if a citizen representative, if we could find a volunteer that could also maybe be the voice of the taxpayer.
Right.
Would be someone that I think might serve the town well as we really get serious about this and explore it.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I don't know who that would be, but
Could be somebody at the finance committee or somebody that they would pick.
We'll draft somebody somewhere.
Recruiting efforts will start
Exactly.
quickly. So we kind of want to go around from department to department and
Yeah. And just a point, the purpose of this was to identify the needs and the potential possibility of it, not necessarily moving forward with it at this point. We're just trying to put together what the needs are and if it's something that'll work for the town.
yeah.
And I only brought that up because I didn't want to, Tim suggesting a member of the town, which is a good idea, I'm not saying that, but I don't want to have anybody misunderstand what the actual purpose of this initial committee is.
Which is why, ultimately why it's a feasibility committee. And when you move forward with any public project, that's the first place that you start.
Yeah.
Is it feasible, does it fall within the town's means?
Right.
And then moving forward from there, but it'd still be, my thought would still be the same group of folks, once we determine, yeah, it does work, or it does make sense.
Yep.
To have them continue to move forward and, reassign roles as it moves along.
Yep.
Make sense to everybody here? So, I'll start this way. Chief, who would you want for delegates from your department?
That would be myself and Assistant Chief Manning.
Police department would be me and our reserve officer, Mark Dunleavy, who does a lot of our IT stuff. Does a lot of our radio stuff. He's got a lot of work and knowledge in his professional life outside of the police department with buildings and maintenance and stuff like that. So he'd be a good fit for us.
Adam and myself.
In my mind, I think Board of Selectmen representation, Mike, because of his background in building, unless,
Mike is interested.
Yeah.
Far be it for me to stop Mike or anyone
So-
from the town.
do you want to serve as a
I
alternate as
wouldn't be
well,
totally
Dave? or-
offended if you jumped in on it. I'm more than happy to help through the process, man. My goal in bringing this forward was just to initiate the conversation and get it started regardless of who's on it. I didn't do it to jump on the committee, but I'm more than happy to help in the process if needed.
So, and the other part would be getting the committee meeting, in schedules that make sense for everybody.
Correct. Yeah.
So is that something you guys want to, knowing who the delegates are from each of them, get together, work offline, or is that something up now, or?
We could probably generate an email and just see what everybody's schedule would be, because we also need to include Matt Benoit, the new town planner. So today, just so everybody understands, I thought that it may be a good idea to bring Matt into it, so I had asked Kevin what his thoughts were on it, as well as I stopped in and seen Matt to make sure that he was interested in doing that, because I didn't want to overtax him being a new employee of the town. And he was enthusiastic about doing it, so I think it'd be a good mix where he has background in conservation, zoning, land use, and things like that, so it may be a good mix for the group. Plus, it'll help him learn the town a little bit.
So do you guys have any questions or thoughts or comments?
Can't think of anything, just a long time coming if we, get the police department out of the basement and Johnny out from under a lean-to.
Just have to have the first meeting to figure out what the goals and objectives are and what available land is and sort of thing, just to lay the foundation in terms of doing research, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as, just a thought, as far as the available land, Matt Benoit could probably work on that for us. But I think we need to identify what your needs are and what your wants are, so then you can figure out where it's going to go. Because you also have to think of long-term use of that. Just imagine your existing spot just where the fire station is. If you put an addition on to handle you right now, 20 years, you wouldn't have no space left to add to it. So those are things that we have to think about as we go through with it.
Any thoughts, Nick?
No, I think we're ready to get started. I talked to Mark today, and I'm going to talk to everybody in the PD and get their input. And we'll present it once we get the committee together and put everything together and move forward.
How about you, John? You good?
Same, get some input from our guys, would be pretty easy for those guys, you know. We've been touring new facilities just to get some ideas, you know. We've been to Medway, been to Charlton, looking to go to Berlin, waiting to hear back from them.
Medway's got a nice facility.
They do, yeah, yeah. So,
Part of the, I'm just assuming part of the committees will be making some visits like that too, to get some ideas. There's a lot of plans and everything that are already out there that, you know, we can get a look at towns that are similar to ours. I'm sure at some point they were in the same position that we were. So why
Right.
reinvent the wheel? I'm sure they've done a lot of the work that we're going to be doing, so.
I'm a huge fan of repurposing data. So
Yeah.
it's a nice way of saying like, oh, those are plans, give me those. We'll just change the name on
At
that.
least something to look at, something to start.
Yeah, I started doing some just basic research on it. I just did a quick search for architects in safety complexes. So then you could go onto their particular website and see what they actually produce. You had guys that produced stuff that looked like it belonged in Brookline, and then you had other guys that looked like it belonged in Brookfield. So trying to figure out what's going to work for you. So once we have some kind of outline of what the needs are, it'll be helpful. I know John has gone over, and Adam went over Charlton.
Charlton and Medway.
Yeah, so.
Any thoughts, Adam?
No, I mean, Charlton, like, that was two different ends of the spectrum, Medway being 16 million and Charlton being 5 million or whatever it is, so we're trying to just keep going, you know, closer to what our department is, so
Yeah.
it should be, you know, should be good. Beautiful, Medway's beautiful, but again, it's not exactly our fit. We don't have that many trucks, we don't have that, you know, we don't have 4 different departments. They have a Parks and Rec, they have a, you know, a sign department, they have all their own different departments. We have 6 guys, so it's a little different.
We don't have their budget either.
Yeah, exactly.
there you go.
Correct.
One of the biggest challenges we'll have is all 3 of them like to be in the middle of the town and trying to fit everybody there and have some growth left over. Interesting to see how all that will work out.
Is Ernie going to be okay with not being able to leave crumbs for his little friends in
He
there?
said, and I'm going to quote him, as long as it's built across from a Dunkin' Donuts, he don't care where it is. That's what he said, exactly.
We have 2 options.
Exactly,
I'm
yeah.
glad he hasn't, pigeonholed us too much there.
Exactly. Same for the cops, by the way.
Build another Dunkin' Donuts, I guess.
I suppose so, that's
The other
right.
alternative.
We may be bargaining against ourselves right here on the table.
Is it the goal to put all 3 departments together, or is there talk of maybe combining 2 and leaving 1 standalone depending on land and other factors?
It could go, that's the whole purpose of this
Yeah,
whole thing.
nothing
to
is off
figure
the
out-
table. It's-
Figure out what makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, you're not going to be able to get separated from Kent. You have to be in the same building. But
But it's a solid
we'll
try.
do what we can to get you a different room.
Well, somebody's got to take the hit, right?
Well, she brought it up.
Thank you.
I didn't know if you were referring to him or not, so I figured I'd just expose it.
I do think the VFW space and the building next to it, right, that's something that the town at some point is going to have to address, so
Correct.
the committee could maybe look at that.
Well, there's a
area.
ton of land back there. There's like 35 acres. The only issue that I have with that is I don't think the public should be exposed to any one of these 3 departments. So when you have the playing fields there and they can be secluded from the street and exposed to their complexes, I don't know if that'll necessarily work.
Well, Ernie could probably play goalie or something on one of the teams if he needed.
As long as there's a Dunkin' Donuts booth on one end of the field, he's good. But that would be my only concern with trying to utilize that, other than
Yes, it is.
35 acres. That goes all the way down back to the U Street, up behind the,
Committee,
well, you can go in the back door of the current Dunkin' Donuts,
Well, I mean, we're leaving it
across the
open.
little footbridge.
And I know talking with Mr. Menard yesterday, he had a lot of good ideas as well, so.
Be careful with talking to Mr. Manera.
Really?
He's going to end up in the bushes out in front of your house if you don't return his phone call. That's how he rolls. Like, I don't know how many calls Nick's gotten about restraining orders against him yet, but I'm sure they're coming.
Wow.
None yet.
None yet? You may have to get him out of a tree.
All right, so
Anyways,
what's the next week? We get some time period to get an initial
yeah, what I'll do is I'll send out an email to all of them tomorrow, and then we'll communicate back and forth, and we should have something to report to you by next Selectmen's meeting to see how we structured our committee and what our meeting schedule is.
think that gives you enough time? Or you wanna-
To structure that, I'm not
Yeah.
saying we're not going to have any definitive
No,
answers,
no.
but
Well, we figured you'd have an answer by our
within a
next
2-week
meeting.
period, we should be able
Get to
to
work.
have some sort of idea how our meeting schedule is going to work.
Okay.
And at least have one meeting under belt so we can structure as to who's going to do what.
So,
Good.
Sounds like a plan.
all right.
All right.
Look
That's all.
forward to it.
Thank you guys for coming in.
See you, good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And we expect full plans by the next meeting.
You got it, Adam.
Blueprints and everything.
I'll go to another town and take this, no problem.
All right, good. All right, so we're on to the Municipal Center Generator and Electrical Project Contract Award and possible votes. And it looks like we're between BLW, NV5, and McRitchie Engineering. And Shirley's here.
Yeah. Come on up, Joe.
Come on up, Shirley. With a lot of papers.
Well, I hope you all had yours.
We do.
Read them.
I thought you brought those just to hit Mike with.
Oh, Mike's got his, I'm sure. Okay. Well, the Building and Facilities Committee met, they changed their meeting time, especially so that Matt could meet with us, and Adam also. And so we met on the 7th at 4 o'clock, and we had our regular meeting, but also the biggest amount of time was spent on choosing one of 3. We were charged with at least 3. We reviewed all 6. Most of us, if not all of us, reviewed all this information at home. Took a lot of hours. And then we came into our meeting and we discussed the pros and cons of all of them. And we came up with 3. So I will read you this. Douglas Board of Selectmen from the Building and Facilities Construction Committee, BFCC. The date, October 19th, 2021. Reason is the contract is for Municipal Center emergency generation replacement and electrical upgrades. The BFCC met on October 7th, 2021 at 4 p.m. and reviewed all the applicants for the Municipal Center emergency generator replacement and electrical upgrades. After reviewing all 6 applicants' proposals, the committee chose McRitchie Engineering and BLW Engineers tied for the first choice. And then NV5 was rated as second choice. And respectfully submitted, Shirley Mazinski, Chair.
Okay.
Questions?
So I'm just looking at the McRitchie, we haven't gotten any return calls on their reference checks as of yet?
Not that I know of. That was Lisa and Matt that did the reference checks. We felt that wasn't, proper for every one of us on the board to be calling and looking for checks.
Right.
But what we liked about McRitchie was they came in, and I wasn't here, but Adam was, and after we did our discussion, Adam and Matt came up with some information that they liked about McRitchie. He had a screwdriver in his pocket, took things apart, let them know that, hey, this is not legal, you're going to have to correct this along the line. My big concern was anything with engineering, electrical rather, is okay, are we going to have problems when they come in to make the connections, the new connections and so forth? Is this going to work? And obviously, they seem to know what they were talking about. So that's, and the other one was good, but most of the others that came, and not all came, according to Adam, they came around, they took pictures of different things that, as he made the tour with them, and Matt was with him too. But,
McRitchie really just kind of stood out that way.
yeah. Yep.
But you rated them tied with BLW?
Well, most of us, we had a format that we went through, and they filled the criteria. And so it got down to, we didn't particularly care for the way to evaluate them, but we made it work. And with Matt's advice, he made the numbers work. And this has happened before in other building and projects. So it basically, they were tied. But this one did stand out, and we all agreed.
Are the warranties and servicing just pretty similar?
Yeah, you didn't get any of the information?
I can't recall it, but
Well, you can have, you can
just,
have.
yeah, we just have to.
Yeah, no, we felt that they were very good,
Okay, all right.
very good, yeah. And,
This is for the design portion of it.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
yep. And the interesting thing was the McRitchie didn't come in with any fancy cover, not that that's why I chose him, but I thought, gee, you know, when I first looked at it.
And I actually dismissed them as soon as I seen it stapled versus the other book. But I put it off to the side because I didn't think they took it serious.
Yeah,
Well, back to the call for reference checks, was this we placed the call to them, asking them to produce?
Matt and I were contacting
Yes.
other entities that had used them, and neither of us got
So
called
it's not a
back.
matter of McRitchie not responding
Correct, it's
to-
not the engineering company, it's,
yeah.
It's their
People that
yeah,
they
it's
worked
their
for.
references.
Right. And that happens.
They have a list of all the different.
That happens.
Believe it or not,
job
no
they
call
did
back from a
with,
reference is sometimes a good thing. It means I have no
contact
reason to yell at them.
numbers and stuff, so I'm sure that's how they probably went through it.
So,
Yeah. I mean, you can have mine. I went through with a marker, the things that stood out. We looked at if they were going to have backup people, if they couldn't always be there, and they had coverage. Not that they had, that they're a big outfit, but they said they were available. And that's, you know, different ones in their company were available if they couldn't be there. The other thing that we basically looked at was they were electrical engineering, and some of these were
mechanical.
architects, mechanical,
Yeah.
but these were mostly electrical, among other things.
Just need to be one.
You sit on that too. What are your thoughts, Mike?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't prepare properly for her meeting. I just didn't have time, but since then, I have looked through this stuff. They made it easier for me because they reduced it down to 3 books. Everybody except for McRitchie, it's almost like they just changed the names on them. Everything is
boilerplate.
formatted. It's nothing that really addresses the town of Douglas. And when you look at the Ritchie one, they went through, they talked about the budget, what they thought about different things that they've seen in there. I reached out to Adam, asked him how his interaction was with these different vendors that came through. With the exception of this company, everybody, they're pretty passive about it, just took a few pictures and then they went along their way. This company here, this guy came in, he's a mechanical engineer, if you look through his qualifications. His principal, another principal in the company is an electrical engineer. He's been with the company since 2003. He's got 35 years' experience. He went through the process of opening up cabinets and looking at different things, telling Adam different code changes. And he also took a practical approach as to how he looked at it. Emergency lighting, for argument's sake. Instead of rewiring the whole building, he says, you don't need to do that, just put in the regular battery backup emergency lighting, and it's going to save you money in the long run. That's not where you need to spend your money. You need to spend it in these different areas. So he's taken a practical approach, so it's not shortcutting it, but there's no reason to rewire this whole building. And that's what he was picking up on. I think it'll be a benefit to his expertise in how he's approaching the job versus somebody who's just coming in and taking.
Sounds like he has the most enthusiasm.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I liked about it, he did things similar to how I conduct my business is, I don't just look at it, I have to, all right, let's open this thing up, see what's going on, and evaluate it before I can make a decision on it. So I can appreciate his tactic of how he went about it. Adam was very pleased with the way he presented himself and how he went through it.
So it sounds like even though it was a tie, McRitchie seems to have the nudge more towards the top place vendor.
I mean,
Is that a fair assessment?
One thing, like he, in his proposal, said one item not mentioned in the RFP is the need to install a manual transfer switch, also called a storm switch. This allows for the quick connection of a temporary generator to provide backup power while the permanent generator is being serviced. The location of the storm switch will be coordinated with the town to make sure it is easily accessible. And, different things that he mentioned that stood out.
So he was a little more thoughtful about the process.
Yeah, like prepared.
Yep.
But I hope we're right. But,
Well, there's some evidence that he probably would be more, roll up his sleeves and get into it more.
He's identified things specific to Douglas where nobody else has. If you look through, just on this here, he talks about, the abbreviation is COPS, but it's the Critical Operation Power System, and he explains it.
I think we just have to basically
Give you
decide
some
who we're going to
input
award
to
it to, based
which
off
is
the
helpful.
recommendations.
He's paying attention to the job, I guess, is what the point is I'm trying to make.
That's what it sounds like to
and,
me.
he also mentioned, we have researched the cost and availability of several different sizes of generators. And based on your overall project budget of $350,000, we feel confident that a generator sized to pick up the whole building is within your budget. The current lead time on a generator is about 18 to 20 weeks. So we made some adjustment to the proposed project scheduled as part of our submission. So you're not going to get it with the snap of a finger. It's,
With anybody.
They're all out.
that's right.
Throw the whole thing.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. And knowledgeable, again, currently there is a 150 kVA National Grid transformer feeding the building. If we provide an equivalent size generator, the cost should be in the range of $60,000, including an 800-amp automatic transfer switch, and they call it an ATS. The cost to install the generator and ATS, while it will be based on the final location of the generator, we do not believe it will push the project over budget.
Sounds like McRitchie's it.
That's the only one that gave you actual positive feedback about and dug into what the job is and give you some information.
Is it their task to recommend the provider to, and do all of that for us?
They do the proposal, and
Yeah.
I
This is the designer selection, so and they'll scope out and design the
Yeah.
project.
and then
And
it
then
goes
we got
out
to go
to...
through this process again for
Yeah.
the
actual equipment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable with
Yeah.
McRitchie.
Yeah.
But you're welcome to have all my stuff.
I would never take that from you,
Oh.
Shirley.
There's more copies in the other one.
I'm sure.
And
Should
they
have
were
read it.
emailed in your packets as well.
Yes. I'm sure you enjoyed the light reading.
I have mine.
Got a motion from somebody there?
Yeah, anybody care to make a motion on this?
Tim looks like he's ready.
Make a motion to accept the recommendation from the Building and Facilities Construction Committee to select McRitchie Engineering as our designer.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. It was made by Tim and seconded by, made by Mike, seconded by Tim, I'm sorry. Is there any further discussion? Seeing as none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for all of
Thanks
your
for
work,
your work,
Shirley.
Shirley.
Thank you, Shirley.
And my committee worked hard.
Yes. All right, so we're on to approving minutes and possible votes.
There's two separate dates, just to make you aware of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So executive session minutes from 1, and then regular
And then
regular meeting minutes.
regular meeting minutes were done by Stephanie Goslin, the new minute taker.
Just three altogether.
Yeah.
For any reason?
Huh?
Is Jean here for any reason?
I think she was here for questions on town meeting warrant.
Oh, okay.
Just a fan of town government.
Yeah.
She is. Jean just likes hanging out with us.
I was here to answer any questions you had this evening.
That's it. Well, will give us a chance to think of some then.
You want me to stay?
If you'd like to, Shirley, you're always welcome.
Surely this reminded me my contract's up.
What?
Yes, it is.
I'll make a motion to approve the Thursday, September 23rd regular meeting, special agenda minutes for executive session,
And retain them.
and retain them.
Second.
Okay.
Third.
Motion's been made, seconded, and third. Any further discussion? Seeing as none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
I will abstain as well, Mr. Chairman.
You have to sign the warrants too, don't you?
Yeah, those are back in there.
That's why Jean's waiting. Make sure we sign it.
Could be.
No, that's Lisa's job.
We'll make a motion to approve the October 5th minutes.
Second.
Okay. Made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Only, I know Stephanie was here in person for the first one, but if she's not going to be, if we could ask her to do the timestamp trick again, in the interest of transparency and good government.
Good government. I like that term.
Aspire to it.
Some of it's timestamped.
Is it?
Yeah, she did do it.
Yep.
I think on-
Yeah.
for the motions,
Yeah, but I don't know how that plays on the
you mean the
on the
YouTube?
replay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I will talk to her about it.
Thank you, Lisa.
But otherwise, wonderful job.
All right.
For the feedback, Tim, because she is new to this, and she is looking for feedback from each of the committees and the boards to see what she needs to do to change it so you're comfortable with the minutes.
All right, so we have a motion that was made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The last one is the October 5th executive session minutes. I would vote, make a motion to approve and retain.
Second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. Is there any further discussion on this?
I don't know, that one had collective bargaining again. I think you,
Did I read?
you did. yeah.
Yes, you recused yourself from the discussion from collective bargaining,
So would you second it?
but he was part of the real property
Yeah, he
discussion,
was.
so he can.
2.5.
I forgot I did leave, didn't I? Yeah, I will withdraw all my comments on this particular matter.
I'll second if you're looking for a second.
So it's been re-seconded by Dave. All those in favor? Aye. Which brings us to any open session topics not reasonably anticipated 48 hours in advance of this meeting. Seeing as none, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Before, Gene, you don't need us for anything? No.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Everybody